Okay, we're recording. So thank you all for gifting 30 minutes of your time with us this morning. We're really privileged that you decided and you chose to spend this time with us. And I'm Laura Sipko with Green Compass. I'm a master director, and I've been with the company a little bit over 2 years now. And I'm privileged to have you all on, as well as some of my business partners. And what we're going to do today is talk a little bit about why CBD is so special and give a high level overview of how it helps. We'll talk about Green Compass, but I think the most important thing is that people are going to share their stories and their personal experiences, because we could talk about what CBD is all day, but let's talk about really how it's impacting lives and making a significant change in those lives. So I'm just going to start really quickly, and forgive me, I'm going to dumb it down a little bit to talk about CBD, because I will tell you, when I was introduced to CBD over 2 years ago, I had no clue what it was. I thought you could buy it at a gas station. I thought it would get me high. And quite frankly, I didn't even want to be associated with it. But because I come from, about 18 years in the pharmaceutical industry, when I was shared the science behind CBD, and when I kind of understood, wow, that this stuff comes from the earth and that it can really help you, I was like, okay, I need to take a look at this. And that really buying it at a gas station is probably not the best thing to do. So let's talk a little bit about CBD. So this is where people get confused, is that, you have two plants. You have the marijuana plant and you have the hemp plant, right? They look the same. Oftentimes they smell the same, but they don't act the same. And that's where CBD is sourced, from the hemp plant, not the marijuana plant. The marijuana plant is high in THC and very low in CBD. And the hemp plant is abundant in CBD. Actually, CBD is the most abundant kind of essential oil in the hemp plant, and very low in THC. There's only 0.3%, really, to be a legally grown hemp plant to create CBD. There's only 0.3% THC in that. And so that's the difference, is CBD comes from the hemp plant and it's not going to get you high. And it's legal in all 50 states. In 2019, the Farm Bill was passed. And that's why you start seeing it everywhere, because there was a boom in the industry, because you could now grow hemp legally to create CBD. I'm going to admit people to our call, so I apologize. I have to stop here. So that's one reason why we see really a boom in the industry. The other thing is this endocannabinoid system that was discovered in the 1990s. So every mammal has this endocannabinoid system, not really taught in medical school, but there is a ton of research behind this. If you research on a couple websites, projectcbd.org or nih.gov, you'll find an abundant amount of research. But this endocannabinoid system that all mammals have regulate our entire body. It keeps our body in homeostasis. Actually, it's called the ECS. That's how I'll describe it. And this ECS spans across your 11 major organ systems. And it has really receptors in it, CBD1, CBD2 receptors. And really, to keep it basic, is that CBD enters the body. And when the body's out of balance, these CBD receptors, it needs to activate with those. It needs to just tickle those receptors and put the body back in balance. And so what happens is my body is different than Donna's body. My body is different than Phil's or Gina's bodies or Kristen's bodies. And basically what happens is I need different things in my body, because my ECS system, I might need less pain, I might need more sleep, but CBD enters the body and works individually within each person. So where I'm compromised, Phil might not be. So it's going to help me in a different way than it might help Phil. But what's amazing is that it interacts and it nourishes and replenishes that endocannabinoid system. So it puts your body in balance, both physically and mentally. It's a powerful anti-inflammatory, which is a precursor for so many diseases. It helps your immune system. It's a neuroprotectant. It really is a phenomenal compound. And it comes from our earth. That's what's really amazing. And you can use CBD in a variety of different ways. You can use it orally, and you can use it topically. So there's a variety of different ways that you can use it. And Green Compass has different ways. We offer a nano jelly, which is it's a water soluble gummy. you can use that, and it's CBD gummy. It's water soluble. And the amazing thing about this is that the absorption rate is off the charts. So it doesn't have to bypass anything. It just immediately absorbs into your system. This is one of our newest product. We also have tincture. So, and whether you go with Green Compass or whatever oil you use, you have your gummies, you have your orals, you have your tinctures, and then you have topicals as well. So Green Compass has topicals as well. So there's a variety of different ways, because again, your endocannabinoid system spans throughout your whole body. So the topicals can help because you have receptors on your skin as well. So we have a lot of different options. And what I wanted to do is offer Phil the opportunity to share really his experience, because his journey started really with CBD oil. And this is really, if you look at the CBD market, this is really kind of where it started, is with the oil. So Phil, could you share a little bit about your CBD journey?
Sure. I've got quite a story, but my journey started about 4 years ago. And it started when I was sledding with my then 4-year-old grandson. I have 8 grandchildren, but we were sledding on a hill in our backyard, and it was really hard packed snow that we were on. And I was coming back up this hill with the sled, and I slipped and fell on my right knee. And the pain that I experienced just was unreal. I mean, it really hurt. So I knew I had done something really bad, but I thought, well, maybe it's just strained or something like that. So I actually waited a couple weeks, and then I finally said, no, I've got to see a doctor. So I called the doctor, went in. Long story short, they removed the meniscus in my right knee. It was really badly torn. And she put me on post-operative pain medications. We began to do shots in my knee. She gave me a topical to put on. I mean, I was loaded down with medications. And I was still in pain. That was the problem. And she kept saying, it'll get better, it'll get better. It didn't get better. And actually, the post-operative pain was worse than the preoperative pain. And so I heard about CBD, and this is before Green Compass really was even in existence. And so I tried another brand of CBD, and it worked. I mean, it helped me. And I thought, this stuff's like a miracle, because it really took away the pain that I was experiencing. And so I went to see the doctor again on a follow-up call and told her about this. I said, I tried this CBD stuff and it really worked. And I didn't know a lot about CBD. And she said, if it's working that well, she said, why don't we wean you off of these medications and see how that does? So we did that, went off the medications, and I was doing just fine. And then about a year into this, I came across, actually, Laura and I connected, and that's when I came across the Green Compass CBD. Switched over to that because it was far better, in my opinion. It was, at that time, we didn't have USDA certification for organic, but I knew from the history of the company that it was organic indeed, because they had been growing on the fields organic sweet potatoes for decades. So I knew that this was a good brand. Switched over to that, never looked back. All the pain is gone. I've been on this for 3 years now, and I am essentially pain-free. It's just was absolute miracle to me that this stuff works like it does. And, I feel really good about using it, because I'm organic in almost everything I do, and on the food and everything else. So this just fit in neatly to what I was doing. I have to say that, and I'm still on it. I switched over a little bit to the gummies. So I use the gummies, and then I use the oil as a supplement. And so I use the gummies and the oil actually. And I use the topical occasionally, the reduced topical, if I've done something that I shouldn't have done, or if I play basketball with my grandkids and I pay for it later. Because I'm not, you can tell by the gray hair that I'm not 35 years old. So I might need a little supplementation with a topical. And I tell you, that reduced pain cream is just phenomenal. Mm-hmm. I'll let somebody else talk about that. During this time, I had a heart attack, and it was a really bad heart attack. And that was in 2019. And I went through the whole stent thing. They got me to the hospital. It was in my LAD, which is called the Widowmaker. And they got me to the hospital in really fast time in an ambulance. Did a lot of work on me on the way in. I stayed conscious during the whole thing. They put the stents in, actually put two stents in on top of each other. The first stent failed, and I had another heart attack on the table. So I had two heart attacks back to back, and finally got the right stent in. And then we did the follow-up stuff, the normal follow-up things, and they were expecting me to go into heart failure. And so I wanted to make sure that I did everything I could not to go into heart failure. But they finally said, you're not in heart failure. In fact, we did this test on your heart, and your heart is functioning in the normal range. So I wondered if CBD had anything to do with this. So I did some studies in my pharmaceutical background. I looked up the studies on CBD and heart attacks, and found out that there were some rat studies. Now, obviously, they can't do this in humans because they induced heart attacks in rats. And before they gave them the heart attack, they would give them CBD. And then they gave a bunch of rats a heart attack after they, or gave them CBD after they had a heart attack. And then, of course, they had the control group, which didn't have anything on board. And they wanted to see how much damage there was to the heart after these heart attacks. And they found out that there was a significant difference between the rats that had the CBD before and after the heart attack, two separate groups. And then the ones that had nothing on board had significant heart damage. And so I took all this into my cardiologist, and he looked at me and said, of course, these are rats, I said, of course they're rats, because they don't do this to humans. And I said, but this is a legitimate study. And I think it kind of opened his eyes. He never admitted anything that it would help. But I firmly believe that helped preserve my heart function post heart attack. So that was a nice side effect. Another side effect I get from this is just a calming experience that you get with it. CBD has this very, very calming effect on you, and brings everything into balance, like Laura said. And the last thing I want to talk about is, and I'm trying to jam all this into 5 minutes. I'm probably over that by now, but the last thing I want to talk about is my dog, Maggie, who's sleeping right beside me now. Lucky her. And she has really bad arthritis. In fact, it's so bad that if she's not on CBD, she can't walk. She can't go up and down stairs. She can't do anything. I'm on the second floor right now of my home in my office, and she's right here beside me. She goes up and down the stairs every day, and she runs like a puppy now with CBD. The reason I know that it really works is because I didn't know she had arthritis. I just gave her CBD as a nice preventative thing. I knew it was good for her. Well, one day we ran out of the CBD, and my son was watching her. He called me on the phone and said, Dad, he said, Maggie can't walk. She said something happened to her. So I came home and took her to the vet. The vet looked at her and said, well, she has arthritis. That's her problem. And then I told the vet, I said, I had her on CBD, and I ran out of CBD, and she's limping now. She can't walk. And she said, put her back on the CBD, which I did. And she got better immediately. I mean, it took like just a day or two, and she was back to her old self, running after a Frisbee. I mean, she's 10 years old, and she just runs around, honestly, like a puppy. She's incredible. And so I'm really grateful for all the things that CBD does. It's just been a huge benefit to me and my dog and my family. My wife takes it as well. So that's my story. I'm sticking with it.
You're sticking with it.
Yep. And I appreciate the time here to do this.
And Phil is amazing. I've known Phil for over 20 years now. That's the gift of being with this company, is that it has connected me or reconnected with me with really special people in my life. So Phil and I reconnected because of CBD, worked together years and years ago. And as you can see, I mean, he and I both come from pharma. We both do a lot of research, but we won't make medical claims. So I need to say that. But I will say is that, he does his research. He's an amazing man, and I'm so grateful that he shared with us. So thank you so much. It's amazing what one plant can do so much. And so, when we look at, you got a lot of CBD out there. Well, what's really special about Green Compass is that we're truly rooted in purpose. Our company started because of a mom that wanted to find a clean CBD for her kids. Bottom line, she suffered from feelings of sadness after having her children. When her children got older, they were starting to struggle because they lost some people in their family, and they were young boys, and they were struggling in school with focus and feeling sad. But she knew, she took a CBD that she really didn't know what was in it. And she's like, I'm not going to give something I don't know what's in it to my kids. So so when she was having feelings of sadness, her brother, who's an athlete, he took CBD for recovery, and he said, why don't you try CBD? So it helped her. So she's like, okay, well, this is really great. So I want to get a clean CBD for my kids. She researched, couldn't find anything. And, Phil alluded to this. So her husband actually was one of the CFO and a CEO of one of the largest organic sweet potato companies in the world, Sterling Cook. And she said, Sterling, I know, you know, agriculture. Can we just grow some hemp and make CBD so we can figure this out for the boys? Because I can't find a clean one out there. And he's like, sure, okay, let me ask some people. So he went down the road to the Wooten Brothers in Wilmington. They were collaborative competitors. He asked them about it, and they said, you know what, we're already growing hemp. We're part of the hemp pilot program in North Carolina. Yeah, let's do this. It was kind of an accidental thing. But I wanted to go back to her brother who introduced her, who introduced her to CBD, Brooks. And again, he used it as an athlete. And so I thought it would be great because Donna, she's had a lot of great experience using CBD, and she does work out a lot, and it helps her with recovery. So I wanted to introduce Donna, who's a very special woman, to share her journey with CBD.
Hi, everyone. Thanks for joining. Thanks, Laura. I love Phil's story. I love the rat story with the cardiac function, which is amazing. I have so many things to say, so I'm going to try to condense it to not drag this on for you. But I work I do several things for work, but one of them is I'm a Reiki master. So I can, if you're familiar with Reiki, I can help you heal your body with your own energy. And so I can help you get back into alignment. And that's what CBD does. It helps your body get back into alignment. So CBD, Laura did a good explanation of it, but I do a ton of research. It's just how I am. It's what I do. And I found research that goes back as far as 2727 BC for the hemp plant and marijuana and everything, the cannabis plant, actually. So they're all cousins of each other. So cannabis is the plant, and then there's different forms of it. But so if you follow the history, you would understand that why CBD and marijuana and all got a bad name, and if you follow the money. So I'll just leave that there. But it was the big industries that came and squashed it. But what it was, how it didn't serve us well was that it's a plant that we produce our own. So endocannabinoids, we produce our own cannabinoids. Endo means your body produces it itself. So If you've ever nursed a baby or watched someone nurse a baby, the baby could be crying, getting ready to eat, and the mother's stressed, the baby's stressed. And then as soon as the baby latches on and gets milk, the mother calms down and the baby calms down. That's our body producing a cannabinoid, which is that one is called anandamide. So any blissful feelings that we produce in our bodies, whether it's a runner's high, the baby calming down with the breast milk, or a great poop or orgasm, things like that. Any blissful feeling that we produce is our body producing its own cannabinoid. But like every other system in the body, we get depleted in these in the functions of the system. So when you take an exogenous cannabinoid, which would be CBD coming from the plant, so that's a phytocannabinoid because it comes from the plant. When you take that, it will go in and find which cannabinoid is turned off, like the old Christmas lights when, one light was off, they all didn't work. So it's going to go in and find that light that's not on, turn it on to help your system. So CBD, when you use it from an external source, whether it's the nano jellies that we have or the oil tinctures, and the topical is super efficient, but it works a little differently. When you take that, you're giving your body an exogenous cannabinoid, but it's going to go in and help whatever part of the system is not right. So you may find a benefit within your first, like I had my hairdresser was telling me she hadn't been able to sleep for a long time. Like this is going on years. And I said, have you tried CBD? She said, I've tried it, but I wasn't consistent. I don't know what the quality was. I said, I have a sample with me, and I gave it to her. And she texted me the next day, 1 dose. And she texted me the next day. She's like, I feel like a different human today. Now that's early, right? And that's amazing. And I was so happy. And of course, she's now a client. But what happens it's going to help. So you may find immediate benefits, whether it's to reduce your stress or reduce pain or to help you sleep, whatever your body needs. It's going to help bone health. It helps your hormones. It helps every part of this body. But when you do it continuously, you're going to find long-term benefits. So if you stick with it, and the difference with the quality of CBDs is that this is certified organic, grown in North Carolina. The company owns the whole process from the seed to the bottling. So they own the farm. The property has been organic for many years prior to, which if you understand farming and agriculture, what the farms nearby are using will go into the water supply, will mix together. So it's really important that you understand that the farm itself was organic and everything around it, and it's been for a long time. So some people tell me, I've tried CBD, it didn't work for me. Okay, it's what kind of quality was it? Because you could buy it anywhere now. And those of us that live in Pennsylvania, I went to Sheetz, had to go to Chambersburg, and they had CBD for $8.99. I was like, are you kidding me? Like, so you don't know what's in it. Most of the CBD that is available, they've done studies, 80% of the CBD that's available is from China. And you don't know what's in the bottle. It's not a regulated industry. So they could put poison, they could put nothing, they could put whatever. It could be water, it could be oil, could be not CBD at all. The hemp plant is actually a scavenger plant. So you can plant it into the soil and it's going to absorb toxins. So it could be metals or whatever's in the soil. So in China, everywhere uses it this way. So if they're using it that way, they could be extracting the oil from that dirty plant and putting it in the bottle, and then you're putting it into your body, which is terrible. So it matters what the quality is. So I encourage you, if you're going to use it, make sure you understand what the product is. I use it every day. My husband uses it every day. Our dog uses it every day. My oldest son uses it every day. My youngest son is 20. He uses it as needed. He has a very physical job. So he uses it as needed. But we've had tremendous responses. So I know I kind of went off on there, but I want to say this came to me because I was looking for a CBD for my dog, because my dog had great benefits from it. I was having a lot of benefits, but the company I was using didn't survive 2020. So I was on the search for another CBD, and a friend came to me and said, what do you know about CBD? I said, I know a lot about CBD. I'm looking for a good one. He's like, oh, here's this. And then he introduced me to Laura. So that's how I joined, because I was so passionate about what the ingredients are. And I wanted to make sure that what I gave my dog was clean, my uncle had a dog that died from tainted food from China. So we're very particular about what we give the dog. And then from there, my family benefited from the CBD from Green Compass. So my dog takes it every day. He's an old dog. He's probably 13. He doesn't even have the gray muzzle like I usually get. He looks great, and it's for overall wellness. You can tell. And the older he gets, he doesn't do well with storms and fireworks and stuff. So this really has been a godsend. But I give it to him every day. I take it every day. I was diagnosed with a autoimmune issue many years ago, which I had it calmed down for a very long time. But the shutdown last year and being out of work and all that stuff, all my joint pain came back. I was in a chronic flare for at least a year. Like getting out of bed and standing on my feet was so painful. And it wasn't until I made some modifications with nutrition, I made some other changes with stuff I was supplementing, but it wasn't until I started the CBD every day that I first noticed a few days in, my joint pain was better. And then like day 30, I was like, I such a good mood. It was crazy. Like I felt like I'm not like a typically cranky person, but my overall mood is so elevated. So to me, CBD is like Reiki in a bottle because it helps align the body to what you need. And the benefits of having a home-based business. I was in the corporate world for a long time, like Phil and Laura. And when you're in the corporate world, my car allowance, I had a car allowance. I had the internet was covered at home. My cell phone was covered. Well, I left that world and came into a different world, and none of that's covered anymore. But when you have a home-based business, now you have to have your cell phone. Now you have to have internet at home. You have to have it anyway to survive in this world. But now it's a tax expense, right? It's a write-off. So the benefits of a home-based business go beyond what you can imagine. So, you know, if you want to sign up and get the kit, like that's part of your business. It's amazing. So I know I went on a kind of a tangent with kind of covered everything, but if you're interested in, my husband, Bob, has done amazing with it. He just, with the topical cream that can go on, but I'm going to let Gina have a minute. So I'll stop here.
And I love Donna because her passion is off the charts and she's so knowledgeable. So Donna, thank you so much for everything you shared. And she pretty much covered kind of in a nutshell from a quality standpoint with Green Compass. You know, we're the only company like we are. So if you want more detail about how we go from, you know, planting the seed all the way to the bottle, we control everything. We're the only vertically integrated direct sales company that has the USDA certified organic label for our entire product line. So everything in all of our bottles is certified USDA organic. You can't find that, and that's really rare. And I have a podcast to listen to if you want to listen to that. So it truly does. I mean, the company truly checks all the boxes as far as where we are as an organization. We started, our 3-year anniversary will be in February, our first year, because we didn't really plan to go direct sales. It just kind of happened because the cooks, after they made the CBD, they started talking to people about it. And someone said, maybe you should go like direct sales. They were like, what is direct sales? They had no idea. They were farmers. And so we went that route. So they hired a consulting company, and the company told them, okay, we're going to set you up. And this company launched big companies. Actually, Dr. Lopez, you'll know one of the companies that they helped launch. And they said, if you sell $500,000 your first year, that is a win. Our first year, because people like Donna, like Phil, like myself, like Gina, told people about it, we sold $11.5 million. Our second year, which was when the pandemic hit, we helped so many people that our sales were $25 million. So we doubled it during the pandemic because people knew that they needed what we had. And this year, going into our 3rd year anniversary, our CEO, he gets on the phone with us every month, all of us, and he said, we're going to double that. So, you know, we're looking at $50 million in a year from people just sharing their hearts and sharing their personal experiences. So I'm going to give Gina a couple minutes, and I appreciate y'all hanging on because we're going over a little bit. We're just going to do a couple more things. And if you're able to hang on, Gina's going to share her story. I'm going to do a little raffle, and we just want to tell you about some freebies and incentives for you all, but we'll wrap it up really soon. So Gina, please share because you have such a special story.
Thanks. Hi, everybody. I'm going to try to be brief, but again, as you hear with everybody's story, it really is amazing. My name is Gina. I am a special needs educator. I work with children with autism. I was the director of schools and programs, and I've pretty stressful situations dealing and de-escalating students with behaviors. I have 2 adult children. Don't know how that happened so quickly, but now they're adults. I came to Green Compass because Donna, I was the director of the preschool program 20 some years ago when our kids were at the same school. And that's how I met Donna. And we've stayed in touch off and on all these years. Facebook really helped us connect. And she was the one who introduced me to this company. A little bit about myself. In addition to coming of age and going through all these perimenopausal kind of crazy imbalances and systems that you're trying to find a solution for. In 2015 on Mother's Day, my husband died suddenly in my arms. It was crazy. I'm not going to get into that. Suddenly, I had a 13-year-old and a 16-year-old who I had to teach resilience and grieve the loss of their dad. I was left with working by myself. I was so used to, we were like the best team, you know, like I would make my grocery list, he would go food shopping, we would come back, I would cook, he would clean up. Like it was just such a great balance. And then literally the rug was pulled out from under me. And here I was, 46 years old at the time, thinking, oh my God, what am I going to do? So every day I would put on my lipstick and fake it to make it until I could get through. Well, fast forward all these years, right? When prior to my husband's passing, I had been doing homeopathic things to deal with hormonal imbalances and stress and fighting off what could have been depression, but I wasn't really thinking about it. Nothing really, some things took the edge off, but not so much. When my husband passed, I said, I am not going to be able to pull my kids through this tunnel. I'm going on Zoloft, which I resisted, but I did. It helped. Over the years, I have weaned myself off, put myself back on with my doctor, wean myself off again, and was still dealing with poor sleep, inflammation, joint pain. You know, when you wake up out of bed and you get up and you kind of like stumble because your ankles are stiff and your back hurts, and I suffer from migraines and you're always having this. I cannot tell you the benefit of the CBD. Now, a few years ago, I did try CBD from another company because I know you can get it in the head shops and in the gas stations and wherever, right? Bed Bath and Beyond, all these places are selling CBD oil. The one CBD that I tried was from a chain. So I felt a little bit better that it wasn't just random, like that's all they sold. But even still, I never really considered where it would come from. And I thought the person there was very knowledgeable, threw out a lot of things, and it did help me with some sleep. But I had these crazy intense dreams and I stopped taking it. Plus, I still had all the other stuff that I was dealing with. So fast forward to now, I don't feel like I have to fake it to make it. After the first dose, so I jumped in. I thought, you know what? I share information about recipes and sales and good shampoo, or have you tried this? Have you tried that? So this is really no different. I cannot, the systemic effect of what I originally tried, the CBD oil, the tincture for sleep, has mushroomed into, and like Dawn, like I had very good results very quickly. Like within the first dose, I slept well. Then I kept taking it and it was doing okay. Until I realized I don't have overwhelming grief and sadness. Now, mind you, I've been off the antidepressant for a couple of months. So that's completely right. I feel better now than I did when I was on the Zoloft. Plus, I have no pain. Haven't had a migraine in well over a month. I even was taking vitamin D and B12 to help combat with the inflammation and the pain and the depression and like just trying to, piece it all together. I thought, I'm going to test myself. I stopped everything and only did the tinctures. I don't miss it at all. I mean, I've introduced it back because I know that CBD is not vitamin D. I know that. But I just cannot tell you. I have a dog who just turned 14, who can't see, was itching, the whole bit. I gave it to her. That's the beauty of buying the big kit, because you're never going to try all of this stuff. So I bought the kit just so I could sample it for everybody. The pet tinctures, she was like a puppy. She went for a walk. She's jumping up and down. She's playing. I put a picture of her on Facebook, and people who know her can't believe that this is the same dog that I had just a few weeks ago. My son had poor acne. We've tried a bunch of things. We tried the skin kit that was in that big kit. It's not angry. He still has some. I have to post pictures because, again, I cannot believe how much it has helped him. Even my mother and my sister, who, doesn't always want to believe everything unless she comes up with the idea. She bought it for her son, so my nephew, who has pretty high anxiety, and he has calmed down after a few doses. My mother, who can be critical, and I love her, but can be critical, said to me, Gina, what is the difference between the stuff we tried last year and this? And I went through the list, and she said, you know what? I think you're right. This stuff is different than the other. I said, it is different than the other stuff. It has helped. I was sick yesterday. I had a headache and I was worried I wasn't going to be able to get up. I put the cream on my head. The headaches were gone. So just over and over and over. So I really have not felt this calm and this good in years. Even prior to my husband's passing, there was always some sort of something, that pit in your stomach, I don't have anymore. And I have to go back really quickly, because when I first started, I tried the lip balm first, and maybe just like a half a dose of the 500 tincture before I went to work one day. Again, I work with children with autism. It's a lovely job. I love these kids, but you always have to be on and ready to diffuse, to de-escalate, to redirect, just to provide an all calm, right? So even though while I'm dealing with them, you can still feel some of that stress. I had a tub, we were on a break, and I had a tub of Legos, and they knocked the box over. And I had mentioned this before. And that sound of all of those little teeny tiny Legos, I don't know if you know, but it feels like glass crashing to the floor. And everybody and these kids who have high sensory defense usually would be covering their ears and screaming, and I did not react. I didn't even look. And they were like, we spilled the box. And I said, just clean it up. It's okay. Nobody makes a big deal, and the biggest deal was I would have responded the same way, but what struck me was my internal visceral response. I didn't have that in my stomach. And I thought, what happened? What did I do? And then I remembered I was putting that lip balm all day long, and I just can't. So I came home, told my older son, who is very like, I'm not taking anything, whether it's coming from a plant or a bottle of Advil. I'm not doing any of it, whatever. He said to me, what did you do today? He said, because you look like you just got out of a hot bath. And I feel, and every day, I swear to God, I feel like I just stepped out of a hot bath. And I have not felt like this in ages. So if nothing else, this is the first time in at least 6 years, probably more like 10, that I have felt a consistent balance, not just one day, but for days. This has been the best month that I've had in years. And that's dealing with the grief, the stress, the daily life. I said, if everybody was on CBD, what a better world this would be if we were just all calm. Like, I just don't have that visceral response to things anymore. I'm clear-headed, so I'm just very grateful. I'm just very grateful. It has helped me on so many levels. It has helped people in my family, people, you know, that are close to me. And now I'm just trying to get the word out like I would if I had a great cake recipe. But this is so much better, so much better. So I'm grateful. I'm glad I did the big kit because now I can sample.
Yeah.
And, you know, there's a tincture for that. I've got this, you know, before you open up that bottle of Advil, let me give you this cream, and it works and it doesn't come back. It's amazing. It's amazing. So that's my
And
long-winded short story.
And Gina just got her box 3 weeks ago, maybe.
Yes, this has
Yeah,
only
so
been, I just joined.
it's really remarkable.
It is.
And she got her box, honestly, she said, I just want to try this. You know, I want to try this.
Mhm.
And so that was like, it's like no risk, just try and get a big discount. And then it's just amazing.
Exactly.
So that's why our company has grown so much. I mean, you just hear these stories. It's unbelievable. And so if you have more questions about the science, if you have more questions of things we didn't cover, just follow up with whoever invited you and we'll get you that information. What I can say is this company truly is a remarkable place, from our products to our culture. And, you know, if you want to try our products, basically we're going to offer a few little offers today. So we're closing out the year. So until New Year's Eve, right, at midnight, midnight Eastern time, because they have this clock, we're going to offer anyone who places an order, any new customer, you'll get a $10 credit on your first order, and you'll get free shipping. And we'll gift you with a set of our bath soaks, which are unbelievable. I used to not take baths. Now this box has actually done more for me because I purposely give myself me time, because I feel so relaxed and it really helps my skin. It's unbelievable. So you're going to get that. So anyone who purchases $75 as a new customer, you'll get $10 off that $75. You'll get free shipping, and we're going to gift you these bath soaks. So that's number one. So, but if you want to try an assortment of products, right? And there's no like hooks or strings or anything like that. But if you want to try an assortment of products, if you want to share it with other people like we do, we've got they have 2 discounted kits that you can get, that you can only get one time. Only if I could get these every month, I would, because it's a huge discount. We have our bestseller kit, and it comes in, you get this big box that it comes in, and you get, you know, brochures to share with people and all kinds of good stuff. But you get over $600 worth of product for $299. And it's our best-selling product. So you get some of the oils, you get some of the topicals, essential oil roll-ons. We've got a great thing. So what we're going to offer with that is we'll also offer a product credit of $50, meaning that you can order something else up to $50 that might not be in that kit. So for example, you know, our Boost product, I use Boost Sleep every single night, and it's a terpene booster, no CBD, but I sleep amazing. Well, that's not in that $299 kit, but you might want to try it. So we want to give you that opportunity to try something else on us. Okay. And then the third option is, so it's the customer option, or the bestseller kit, or we call it our core runner kit, which is the one that Gina had. And when I started, they didn't have this, but it basically is almost our entire product line. There's a few things that aren't in there, but it's almost our entire product line, and it's $499, and it's about $1,100 worth of product. And you get to try everything. You can use it to sample. You can even resell it if you want. If you have a friend that wants to buy it, you know, you get the tincture for $40, but you know, you can sell it to them for the preferred customer pricing. So that's the third option. And with that one, we're going to offer a canister of our nano jellies, because our nano jellies are not in this kit. And so we're going to offer this because this is a product that most people want to try. And it's a phenomenal product that was launched this year. So there's a few different options to try product. We're going to offer those before the end of the year. So please contact whoever invited you here today. Green Compass is a phenomenal company. Most people like Phil, Gina, Donna, and I have never done this type of business before. It's something you can run from your phone. It's something that you don't have to carry inventory. Our company doesn't require you to buy stuff every month when you want to share it with people and earn commissions. It's a really, really incredible company. So thank you. We apologize. We went over a little bit, but we hope that you found value in what we shared today. So thank you so much. Have a fantastic day, a wonderful new year, and reach out to whoever contacted you. Bye-bye.